Breaking news in Belgium. Authorities say now they have that third suspect from the Brussels airport bombing that led to the deaths of 30 people. The bombing that took place there at the airport as well as in the subway. The third suspect, the person being circled there, the man in the hat, Mohamed Abrini, arrested during recent raids, now admitting, according to Brussels authority, to be the man in the hat. We'll continue our coverage now with CNN intelligence expert Bob Baer, as well as Fred Pleitgen, who's been covering this story since it happened a month ago. So, Fred, back to you on the details that we're now learning. Authorities revealing that he admits to being the man in the hat, the man in the trench coat there. But under what circumstances did this admission come?
Yeah, it was interesting, Frederica. When we spoke to the federal prosecutor, Eric van der Sipt, a couple of minutes ago, he really made a point to tell us that this was not something that was only relying on circumstantial evidence. He said that this was more than them just doing the tests and facial recognition as well. They made clear that that he actually admitted to this after being confronted with some of the evidence that they presented. Now, they said most of that was indeed electronic facial recognition tools that they used. And then when he was confronted with it, at some point he said, yes, it is me on that picture. And then later also apparently told them the exact way that he then left that airport. And it's interesting because remember, a couple of days ago, there was that video that was put out by the Belgian authorities that essentially showed that man in the hat leaving the airport and then going all the way into the town fairly casually. And he now described that that is exactly what he did, that he dumped his coat, and that he essentially sold that hat that he was wearing, which apparently was also part of that disguise. The authorities here, of course, they're going to continue to question him. He has now been charged with being part of a terrorist operation, and so certainly they can keep him in detention. We'll keep trying to squeeze information out of him, not just, of course, about the Brussels attacks, but about the Paris attacks as well, where he, of course, is also implicated as having been the person to essentially drive Salah Abdeslam and some of the others to Paris to conduct those attacks.